Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more RWBY and something a little bit different today. We are going to be checking out the Volume 3 soundtrack today, you guys. If you're joining me early today, you know just what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, Volume 3, you guys. Volume 3. I have to say, like, I was warned. Like, I was warned. I was warned by you guys. There was, like, several hints along the way. Like, the actual theme itself, had tons of warnings in it. And still, I'm sitting here and there's very few reactions where I just, like, something happens that's so big. There's such a big, like, out of nowhere moment that I'm just, like, sitting around thinking, like, I cannot believe that happened. Like, I'm expecting it to be, like, rectified somehow or, like, retconned or something. And, like, I know it won't be. You know, I can tell enough from, not that you guys would ever spoil it for me because you're all very cool about that, but I can tell enough from, like, some of the comments I'm getting that, like, no, this is permanent. This is a major thing that has happened and it's not going to be undone. And I'm just, like, still in shock over it. It's now been, I think, about a week since I filmed the last few episodes of Volume 3, and I'm still just, like, it hurts my heart to think about it. It really does. I know it's going to be a very interesting reaction because I know I'm going to, like, I'm just tearing up even thinking about it. There was a song at the end of the finale that, from my understanding, is kind of partially about Pyrrha, but also a little bit of a tribute to Monty, the creator of RWBY, because he had passed, I guess, between volumes 2 and 3. And it was so sad, like, in the reaction, I just, like, I couldn't take it. I just put my head in my hands and cried. And I know, like, even, oh yeah, like, I was editing for YouTube one of the episodes that, like, there was a big focus on Pyrrha, and, I feel like maybe between that and the fact that I happen to be listening to, like, one of the kind of, they had a few, like, Pyrrha and John focus songs in Volume 2, and I was just thinking, like, these feel so completely different to me now. I can never listen to them the way that I used to. You know, certainly I enjoy them and everything, they're great, but, like, it just has completely shifted my perception of everything up to this point. So, yeah, I'm just, like, still reeling from it, but, I loved it. I think it was really wonderfully done. It was very tragic, but, you know, definitely done in a way where not only did it make an impression, but I feel like the more I get away from it, the more I feel like, you know, it was done in a way that was fitting for Pyrrha's character in, like, a very tragic way. And even in, like, Penny's death, I feel was very, the way that her last words were, this is going to be so much fun. It's just, like, it's fitting, but not, like, justified fitting. Like, ooh, I can see where they were going right for my feels with that fitting. You know what I mean? So I think it was incredibly well done. So, just, like, I just have a whole new perspective of the series now. And things just got much, much, much more serious. And this was always kind of my go-to, like, happy, cute, fun show. And I know, like, there will still be that, like, element of it. You know, we still have Nora. Oh, God, if they do anything to Nora, I swear to God. But, you know, like, we still have those elements. I'm sure we'll still have them, but it's definitely, like, stuff just got real. It really did. So, you know, the end of Volume 3 opened up a lot of new avenues for us. We have Ozpin missing. We have a bunch of people gone. We have, it looks like RWBY is kind of teamed up with Juniper now. And they're off to, was it Haven? Was that where they think that Crow thought that Cinder might be going? And Crow is, like, a literal crow. Let's not forget that. And we met, I guess her name is Salem. I hadn't noticed it in the credits. They did credit her as Salem. Who I guess is like the real queen. She's the real queen who has the pawns. So I had kind of assumed that Cinder was in charge, and it's like, no. Cinder like feels downright, you know, normal compared to just even that glimpse that we got of Salem, who seems very, very horrifying. So, all right, guys, I am so excited to jump into this soundtrack reaction and really just pick apart all of the tracks. As usual, I have a wonderful playlist all put together for me. I will try and remember to put a link to that playlist. I also have notes to go with the playlist, which is so nice. So I'll kind of be, after each one, kind of like what I did with Volume 2, after each one, I'll jump in and be like, just kind of skim the notes for that song. Just be like, oh, okay, it was about this. So, all right, guys, what do you say we go ahead and get started? Let's go. We got the theme here. It's gonna make even more sense now that we're on the other side. Oh God! Oh dang! Kind of sung from the perspective of the people who survived, who are having like the survivor's guilt maybe about this. Pillars collapse in shame. Yup, so kind of going back to like the I May Fall lyrics, like there will be nothing good. But at least in I May Fall, there was a little bit of hope. This is just like, nope. Misery and pain for all. And fall is like a big keyword here because we had like the fall maiden. We have this talking about falling. We have the imagery of the theme song where they're holding hands and everyone falls away. Someone did point out to me that like Pyrrha, if you pay attention, Pyrrha falls away in the theme. Oh, moon is bathed in black. The hope, light of, oh man, a yellow flame. Ooh, yup. And that's where we are, because we're like, yeah, we're on the brink of war. So when they talk about flames here, they're kind of, I think, referring more to Cinder, I'm guessing. In the Fall Maiden power that she got. Typically in the past, I feel like anything like burning flame has kind of referred to Yang. But in this case, I think it's referring to Cinder. Wow. I have to say, like, if you didn't know what was going to happen, it wouldn't be a spoiler, but all kind of like what Cinder was saying in her speech. This is kind of what Cinder was saying in her. The iron gloves. Little nod to Ironwood. Listen to Casey though. She's grown so tremendously over these last few soundtracks. Like you can feel it in her voice. I'm already starting to tear up because I'm just like, so much going on in this volume. And I can just like see that image in my head of all of them just looking at each other as they lose each other. And that's exactly what happened at the end. They just, God, you guys. Wow. All right, this is not a good time to be, losing it already. I'm going to get the next one started so that that's all ready. Okay. Oops, no, it's trying to play. There we go. Okay, so let's consult the notes. This is a full version of the main theme for the season. Lots of themes of darkness, sadness. Main team's colors are all mentioned in some form. Okay. So I did notice they mentioned like yellow. They mentioned the red, like roses and everything. Okay. Bits from Cinder's speech. So that was correct that I was inferring there. Reference to the Greek myth of Atlas, the Titan who holds up the world. There's mention of the weight of the world when cutting to ironwood in the open video. Okay. As well as a reference to the Greek myth of Atlas, the Titan who holds up the world. Okay, interesting. Rewatch the... Yeah, I think that's a good idea. In fact, I was kind of hoping maybe that would be... the visual for the video would be the theme, but I do need to go back and rewatch the theme because there are so many visual clues. Mirrors shattering... obvious one, dividing our view from the bigger picture of the story. Also, the mirror reference I thought maybe was about Weiss. Twirling group of students. Pyrrha is the first to fall, foreshadowing her eventual demise. Yep. As well as a shot after shows Team RWBY. Their heads hanging except for Ruby, showing her willingness to not be swallowed by the darkness and to continue moving forward. That's so well put. I did notice that like at the end, Ruby looks concerned, but she is the only one like still looking around, like looking to her friends and like keeping her, and that's exactly what she did. She, as much as this must be like killing her, Ruby, like every step of the way, has not faltered. She just keeps going and going and going. Wow. And just like at the end of that song, I just started to get kind of emotional because I was thinking of just even like everything that happened in the volume, and it being such a heavy, emotional, sad volume, compounded with the fact that we know in kind of real life as all this was happening, or I guess the volume was after his passing, but we know Monty passed. Kind of getting emotional over the fact that Casey, we've kind of watched her grow up, or heard her grow up at least through these volumes, and just listening to the emotion that she puts into the song and everything. Just the combination kind of got me emotional. I know it's not a good sign getting emotional this early on, because we have like 7 songs left. But yes, excellent notes. I'm very glad I have those. So what do you say we go ahead and get started on the next song? Okay, is this one going to be about Emerald and Mercury? Nice little get you going song here. Interesting. I really want to hear the lyrics. Oh, very aggressive. Very aggressive. Oh, really screaming it there. Okay, so very aggressive so far. And this is Jeff and Casey singing together, I think. Oh. Kind of like anarchists. Sorry, dude, it's not enough. What? Oh, your girlfriend's purse won't help you with this duel? Ooh. More than just a battle defeat, but like a defeat of the spirit is what they're talking about. Yep, and someone pointed this out. That was about Mercury, murderer's son. And now here's Emerald's part. Oh, does she have kind of a tragic backstory, maybe? Referring to her semblance. I know someone had hinted, like, later on we'll get more about Emerald, and her story is a little bit more, like, tragic, perhaps? Oh. So just a very, like, straight ahead. Oh, a straight ahead, like, kind of power rock song. But again, like, speaking to more than just, like, I'ma fight you. And a little bit more about, like, the emotional crushing, which we know they did. Very, they really nailed the personalities. Yeah, isn't just for school. Oh! Just like a happy way of singing that. Hint of the flavor steel. And honestly, like, you could tell, like, Mercury was taking a lot of, like, I don't know about Emerald so much, but it seemed like the humiliation, the, like, reducing them to their knees aspect was, like, a big deal for, like, Mercury and Cinder. You know, Emerald, I always kind of got the impression along the way, like, she was doing it, but she was, like, not as, like, taking the joy in it, maybe. Ooh, ripped from the earth and exposed to the sun. Oh, he was, like, abused very badly, I'm guessing. I'd love to know more about their backstories. We got, like, a little bit. Wow. Oh, hang on. It's trying to start the next one. Usually it, like, makes me go through an ad first. All right, that was awesome. Very, like, straight ahead rock song, and had kind of, like, the hints of, you know, like, some of that, like, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna kick your butt that we heard in Yang's song from Volume 1, but with a much more sinister twist on it, you know, not just like, I'm the best, I'm gonna get you, but much more like, I will bring you to your knees, like, I will humiliate you. Like, it's much more personal for them, particularly Mercury. I feel like his lyrics, is it just me, or were his lyrics like a little bit more like twisted, like, you know, I'm gonna make you suffer, you know? And Emerald's were like, I've suffered and I'm gonna do this, you know, like, I'm gonna get this done. Is it just me, or was it kind of like that? And I feel like that's sort of the way they've been portrayed to us the whole time. All right, so let's read our notes. First, official villain song. Interesting lines and references. Yep, they're color-coded, the lyrics. There are lots of lines about the actual fight they're in with Koko and Yasuhashi. Interesting lines are referencing the backstories. Yes. We will get a small glimpse of Emerald and Mercury's backstory in episode 7, beginning of the end. Oh, yeah, okay, we covered that. Yes, we got the small glimpse. Emerald has her background as a thief. More concrete stuff, though, is the Mercury lines referencing his upbringing as an assassin, but his father's abusive nature and why he killed him. Yes, so there was a lot more in there, I feel like, about Mercury and his, like, the way he was brought up and abused and everything, and we know, like, he was driven eventually to, like, kill his dad and everything. So I feel like at this point we have a little bit more about Mercury than we do about Emerald. We got, like, a tiny little line about Emerald in there about how she was, like, loved by no one. So she was, like, abandoned, she was orphaned. We don't really know, like, specifics on that, I don't think. But I'm curious to see if maybe they'll get more into that later on, assuming she even survives. Because, you know, they just really showed us they have no problem taking people out. Even Roman, I gotta say, I was kind of sad to see Roman go. Was anyone else like, aww? Like, not that you can root for Roman when he's going after our people, but he was so entertaining. He was like, I mean, he was kind of like a charming villain, almost like the Riddler or something, like someone you like to see in action, you know? I don't know, maybe I don't think it's just me, because I know a few of you said, like, Roman's pretty darn fun. So, alright guys, let's jump into the next one here. A Weiss song. little bit of a daydreamer. Is this her father that said that to her? I feel like this is describing her dad's, yeah, her dad's kind of verbally abusive, maybe. Poor Weiss. Yeah, he was the problem, not her. Show good face, which we've seen her doing. Just put a smile on. Wow. You know, I gotta say, my respect for Weiss has gone up so much. Build me, break me. Yeah, she is. No, she is her own person now. What's your message, my girl? Tell us. Okay. It's my turn. Slow clap. And now her dad came and got her back. Aww. She is so much different. I knew she would be different than than what we first saw of her being like, you know, kind of giving Ruby trouble and seeming like she was spoiled and everything. I knew she was going to be so much more than that. And she really is. Oh, you tell him. I didn't know just how bad things were between her and her dad. I'll never go back there. Oh, sweetheart. Sweetheart. Oh, you know what? She's just speaking to me right now. I'm just like feeling this. I'm really feeling this. I didn't realize she was like really kind of emotionally abused, you know? I knew they didn't have a good relationship and he was very overbearing. But I mean, this is like straight up emotional abuse we're talking here. And now he took her back. I'm so not on board. Yeah, like my respect for Weiss has gone up so much. I just can't even tell you. And it kind of snuck up on me, but we had like, you Rose, is that the Rose reference? I feel like is not supposed to be about Ruby, but anything with Rose is. Oh, preach, preach. Yes, you have. You have made your, yeah. Oh, God. You know, I gotta say, this just really speaks to me on a level about like emotional, the abuse that you can't see, that you can't always see physically. You know, it just really speaks to me about that. And I really didn't realize that things were so intense for her like that with her dad. She's worked so hard. We've gotten like little snippets here and there about like she knows she feels like she has to clean up the mess that her dad made of the company and everything. We know she feels responsible for that, but oh, it's gonna try play the next one. Hang on, I'll get that one loaded and then we'll talk about that song. All right. It's my turn. This song is a Weiss song. It's mostly about her upbringing and life she led before her departure for Beacon. Not much else. Sorry. So is there not much else because there's stuff I can't know yet, perhaps? Or is that just kind of like the long and the short of it? Either way, I'm like, I gotta say, that song really drove home to me what Weiss has been through. I don't think I ever really, truly realized her feelings about the way things were in her youth. And we've definitely gotten snippets here and there. Like she said, home life was not great because of her dad. Her dad was, always in kind of a bad way. Didn't really elucidate on that, but, we know that things were hard for her, and we know that she feels this responsibility to kind of make things right, that her dad has kind of come in and messed up with their family's name and their family's company and everything. And we got a lot about just her making her own way in this volume with, meeting Winter and, learning that, Winter really gets it on the same level that, are you going to kind of be his puppet, or are you going to make your own way? The decision is yours. And she has fought and scraped and clawed to make her own way. And you can see, like I said, it's very gradual, but if you look at her from volume 1 to now, you can see that growth. You can see how her team has built her up and rubbed off on her, and how she has become her own person, and you can see the contrast of that in moments where, she made the phone call to the father's company and had to put on the smile and had to put on the happy face and had to be the good little girl and everything. And I gotta say, that song took me by surprise because it really spoke to me about, the emotional abuse. And we just got through that song with Mercury about the way that his dad had abused him and everything. And I feel like her abuse is one that you can't see it physically, but the scars are there. And it really spoke to me. I don't know, it took me aback that wow, all this talk about, breaking free of that control and becoming your own person. It's so echoed in her character, and it just kind of hit me out of nowhere. I knew she had become her own person, but I didn't realize the extent of her dad's controlling nature, I guess, because she doesn't get into it a lot, So it's good to have the songs where we can have a window into her soul, Yeah. My love for her's gone way up. I loved it. Okay, let's jump into the next one. Oops, I just opened the wrong tab. Never mind. Not fall in love with you. Oh, is this about Sun and Blake? Oh, I wonder whose perspective it'll be from, Blake's or Sun's. The beat tells me Sun. I feel like it's from Sun's perspective. And it's also male vocals, I think, so. Yes, definitely. You totally rock. Aw, Sun. I knew he liked her, but wow. Oh, Sun. I think this is sweet, but I love this. I think this is sweet, but I do kind of want her and Yang to be a thing. Aww. And they're so opposite too. Boy, what is it with her and blondes? He's just such a... Aww. What does PYT stand for? Aww. And the beat is so perfect for him, I knew as soon as I heard the beat, it's Sun. They do such a good job with capturing these characters with both the lyrics and the actual music. So he really loves her. It's more than just like, hey, you're cool. Aww. Even here, there's a little mention of autumn, of fall. Is there? We really don't know how she feels specifically about Sun or about Yang, really. I feel like maybe, I don't know, I'm probably just reading into it that she's more into Yang. Am I just reading it? They haven't really said. They have not really said. But we've seen like more of her spending time with Yang, obviously, because they're on the same team. But I do love Sun, though. You can always count on Sun to just come in and just be Sunny. He's just kind of is who he is, and he says what he means, and he means what he says. This is a really cute song, too. I love this. I love it, like, we have some, like, happy, fun songs to kind of break up the sadness. Oh no! Aw, Sun. Aw, it's just such a happy, just a straight ahead kind of happy song. Let me get the next one loaded and then we'll talk. This one is a little murky. The artwork of Blake and Sun, but there's no clear reference from Jeff or Casey as to whether or not it's actually about them, at least according to the wiki. There's some anecdotes stating that Jeff had written the song for something else, but eventually reworked it to fit into RWBY. It plays at the end of episode 2, New Challengers. One, okay. All right. Interesting, yeah. I mean, I would say that there's something about just like the beat that I can definitely tell it's like a Sun song. Like if you played that for me and told me guess which character, just like by the music that this is about, it would definitely be like one of the more upbeat characters like Nora or Sun. But interesting, because honestly, like I hadn't gotten that vibe that like I knew he was kind of into her, but I hadn't gotten the, like, I'm so gone on you vibe that I got between, like, Pyrrha and John. You know what I mean? But I would say it fits. Like, hearing it and seeing the artwork, I wouldn't be like, this really feels like they're forcing it, you know? It didn't feel forced, so if he did rework it into a RWBY song, I think he did a good job. So, all right. Well, that was fun. I'm at least glad that we had like a fun, happy, upbeat song to focus on before the sadness. Sorry, the next one's called Neon, and I'm praying it's about my girl, Neon Katt. Because Neon Katt is kind of like everything I want to be in my life. Like if I could just like no social repercussions involved, like just cosplay 24/7 as a character, I have to say it might be Neon Katt. I just love her style. And it so matches my style of just like rainbows and cuteness. All right, let's go. Can't wait. Oh yeah. And it's a dance song because wasn't her partner like very musically, like their whole team, aren't they kind of like musical? And she's got the little Katt headphones. I love it. And she's got, somebody mentioned she is a cat faunus, I think. Is she a cat faunus? Because she has a tail. What's your dream, honey? Okay. Oh, and we know she's big with the trash talk. How could anyone ever be that fine? Look at her! Don't be sad, no, not everyone can be me. Listen, girlfriend. Sassy. She is truly catty. Neon rainbow. and the lyrics are in rainbow colors. Something in my brain just like exploded. A diva review. Uh-oh. She is so sassy. She's so sassy. You've got your inner beauty, she says. Wow. Ouch. I have to say, the rainbow thing I would have guessed it would be like all sweetness and positivity. And she's just like, whatever, you can't be me. Yay. Just be more like me. Just be rainbows. Just be a rainbow. It's not hard. It's hard. It's hard. But I do respect the style so much. And she even has like a little heart on her. Oh, so cute. She is very sassy though. So instead of being all like rainbows and positivity, like as we've come to know rainbows this year, it's like, oh, hope and everything's gonna be okay. It's like, I'm all fun and cute and hot, and you're not. Very sassy, very neat owl. All right, I like it. Let's consult our notes. Hang on, let me get the next. Oh God, okay, this is a Christmas candy commercial. They're killing me. Kill me with the sweets this year, you guys. Neon, an excerpt from the song, is used in the fight between Yang and Weiss with, Flint Cole and Neon Katt in episode 5, Never Miss a Beat. It is obviously sung from the perspective of Neon. Not a lot here, but it's fun and funky, and I'm sure you'll love it. Yes, I do love it. Good call. Good call. I do love it. It's just fun, and it's just nice to have a focus on just something that is not really related in any way to some of the more sad events of the volume. I know there's going to be, and we already had the theme song, which definitely speaks to the events of the season, but it's just kind of nice to balance it out with like, hey, I'm cute and fun and cool and rainbows, or hey, I'm in love with you. Yay! Just kind of some happy songs. They do such a good job of like covering the whole range of like angry, happy, sad, little bit of everything. The next one is called Mirror Mirror Part 2, which I'm guessing is a sequel to Mirror Mirror, which we heard in Volume 1 and was for the trailer, the white trailer, Weiss's trailer. I'm very curious to hear what this is all about, especially since we already had a Weiss song. What do you say we go ahead and check it out? Is this one about Weiss or Winter? Is that supposed to be Weiss or Winter? I honestly can't tell. Like, it almost kind of looks like more like Winter. Okay. So kind of okay, I think maybe it is like a Weiss song because it's Mirror Mirror Part 2, so it makes sense that it would be about her kind of questioning like, I have everything, why am I not fulfilled? And we know that he came back and got her at the end, and that just kills me, you guys. Can I stop my fall? Very powerful lyric there. Gotta say, I'm like finding Weiss very human and relatable. How are you supposed to build a character? Safest place becomes alone. That is very powerful. I always kind of assumed in Mirror Mirror when she talked about isolation, she meant from the rest of the world because she was like rich and famous. But it's more than that. It's about her childhood. Yeah. Yes. She's met some people who build her up instead of tearing her down. The fairy stories they're referencing here, I'm guessing, reference what we learned in the season, in the volume. And you know what? We're already seeing that from her, the growth in her character. Like when someone pointed this out to me, that like when she just like without a doubt believed Yang after what happened with her and Mercury. Like that really said something about her character. Let me get the next one started. Okay, here is the official follow-up to Mirror Mirror. Section of the song is used when Weiss is saying goodbye to Winter. And episode 4, song is more of a current Weiss introspection. So you could say the first Mirror Mirror is kind of like her joining RWBY and everything. She's growing and changing, feels trapped by her lineage, persevere and move forward. Really good musical motifs. I agree. Weiss has the most musical evolution throughout the series. People speculate this is due to her singing talent in Life with Music. That makes so much sense because we know that that aspect has like bled over into the show. Like there's so many songs that are sung from the perspective of different characters, but we don't really get anything about like the character on the show sings, and we know that Weiss does, so it makes sense that her songs would be particularly emotionally potent. I gotta say, like I said, like Weiss is sneaking up on me, is just really like stealing my heart. She really, really is. And a lot of it didn't even hit me until just now. Like things that had happened throughout this volume and other volumes that are just hitting me with these lyrics. Like, oh my God, she is like one of the strongest people. And to think that like when we're introduced to her, she seems like she would have had the easiest time, which we know she didn't, because you could tell from Mirror Mirror. You could tell from those lyrics that that was not her life. But I gotta say, she has so much to overcome. So much. It's interesting to me that her and Blake would clash so much at first. Because looking at them, I feel like the two of them have the most tragic past to overcome. Not to say that RWBY and Yang don't have their stuff too. But of the team, I feel like they have the most kind of maybe baggage. Would that be the right term to use, that they're trying to work through? So wow. I'm glad we got a sequel. I'm glad we got like a little update on like where Weiss is. Sorry, we have 2 left. let's jump into the next one. Oh no, is this about Salem? She is so creepy. She is so creepy, guys. Oh, this, I feel like they played this in one of the recent ones. Because it sounds like really familiar. I mean, they were all played like throughout the volume, but some of them were played like earlier than others. And this is the same vocalist who just like sang Sweet as Weiss. It's amazing. Slow, cold, brutal death of all the fools. Oh. Just so evil. Kind of echoing what Cinder had said. So now we know where Cinder is getting it from. She even said, like, she said you were arrogant. She must have been referencing Salem. Men just... Is she, like, not... She's like, not human, is she? And I thought she looked kind of like... One spark can incite their hope. And that's what she was saying at the end. I'll be the one who does away with all of that. And you know what? She has done an excellent job so far, but I just think of Ruby's strength and everything, and I think like you can't put out that spark. Oh, creepy. So creepy. I'm just like blown away by Jeff and Casey. Fall. Such a good lyric, and I love the way it's done in the text too. So many references to fall. To think that like a few volumes ago I was like, forever fall! So magical and pumpkin spice! And now when I hear fall, I'm like, ugh. Oh, so she sees them as the ones in the wrong. Like you're sending them to their deaths, essentially. So she kind of has a personal, like, does she feel like she has moral high ground here? Yep. Referencing again to maidens and kingdoms. I want to see the other maidens. Where are they at? She's like, if you're gonna try to send people to their deaths, I will be their death and show you just what you've done. Yup. That's all it takes, guys. Is like the doubt that Cinder spread, that doubt and fear and panic, hatred, suspicion, friendships deny. I never would have pictured Team RWBY splitting up the way they did. Dang, some heavy stuff there, you guys. Let's get the next one loaded up and then we'll consult our notes. All right. Divide. This is sort of like the official big villain. So we got kind of like the villain song with Mercury and Emerald, but Mercury and Emerald compared to Salem, like clearly there's no comparison there. Salem's theme. We can show you artwork of the big bad because now I've seen I've seen her a little bit at the end there. References to speeches from episode 1 of volume... Oh! References to the speeches from episode 1 of volume 1 and episode 12 of volume 3. The references to speeches from episode 1 of volume 1. I need to kind of go back. I do remember now, like a voiceover at the very beginning. I do remember that. I do. Okay, I have to go back and listen to that now. It's going to mean so much more to me. And it plays over the end of, volume 3. Okay, that's why it sounded so familiar. Dang. So, what I got from that was that Salem is definitely here to like squash everyone, but almost from her perspective, she's like, why would you put false hope in these people who have no chance against me or us or whatever? I don't know. Like, it almost kind of seems like she's like a Grimm. She almost kind of looks like I don't know if she's like a human and a Grimm, or if she's like the Queen Grimm or so. I don't know. But I get the feeling she's not human. She's something else, you know. But, you know, she is coming at it from the standpoint of like, why would you start this war and mount these armies and everything? You're sending people carelessly to their deaths. And if you're going to do that, look, I will oblige. I'll happily kill them for you. I'll happily put an end to this little uprising for you and show you who's really boss. That's the vibe I'm getting from Salem. Horrifying and creepy. Also, like, I keep saying this and then, like, I don't want to talk over all the lyrics, but I just want to take a second to just throw out there that Jeff and Casey, and I know they have some rap interludes here as well that I think are done by, I think his name is Lamar. He does an excellent job as well. But primarily we always have like Jeff and Casey. The range, to think that we just went from Mirror Mirror Part 2, which was Weiss, and that was the same vocalist is this song we just listened to. And same with Jeff too, like that interlude they do here where they're like the operatic, like creepy, like Danny Elfman song voices in like the same song. Like they just have an incredible range. I just appreciate them so much. I just want to like take a second to appreciate them. All right, the next one's gonna be really hard, guys. This was the end song, and I already know it's kind of about Pyrrha and kind of about Monty. And I think it's definitely gonna like break me in half, much like it did at the end of the last episode. So let's get broken together, guys. Let's go. Oh boy, no, the artwork though, I can't handle it. John is never gonna be the same.
When I met you, you weren't afraid of anything. You taught me how to
so much of John today was like because of how Pyrrha influenced him. Just seeing him with the tears and her like comforting him, but you can tell it's like an angelic form. Oh.
Now it's cold without you here.
Oh, why didn't I bring tissues for this? Oh man, bad time to forget the tissues. Her influence over his life is always going to be there.
Say goodbye. I don't have to say goodbye.
And you can tell like the whole team is just like,
My days of doubt were in the past.
you can tell the whole team is just like, instead of mourning, like their mourning is just carrying on with the mission. Right, he was like done. He was like, I am a fraud and I'm out of here. And she changed his life.
A greater dream can be achieved. Enough resolve will conquer all if we believe. The light you gave to guide me.
And I can see how this is kind of about Monty as well, because he inspired so much.
Never felt as hard as today. Now it's cold without you here. It's like we're
I just feel like John's never gonna be the same. But I really, like, I love the positivity of the lyrics that, like, that he'll carry her in his heart. She was just one of those characters that you didn't even realize all she had done until she was taken away, you know? Like, I knew I liked her, but I didn't even, when I stopped to think about how much influence she had, particularly, like, at the beginning of the series when she was dealing with John and everything, she really did. She really changed his life. I still can't believe, like, I'm still just like, is there any way they're gonna bring her back? But it would probably, it would not have the same effect if they tried to. But I love the message that, you know, what she did in her time, will have such a lasting effect. And she had done so much. Like, we know she was, like, kind of famous and everything. She was so strong. And so she had so many accomplishments, but I feel like maybe she felt her greatest accomplishment was making a friend and making the friends that she did that built her up in such a way that those accomplishments couldn't. And of course, you know, falling in love with John, meeting someone who saw past all of that. That's just kind of my take on it. But God, I knew that was going to be a rough one. I'm so glad they saved that one for the end and they just built me up with the fun, happy disco songs first. This one is probably going to hit the hardest. Yup. Check. It is both a song about Pyrrha and also a song about the creator of RWBY, Monty. You know by now, I'm sure that Monty passed. Yes. Oh, from a reaction to anesthesia. That is during a routine surgery. That's just awful. I knew it was, like, sudden because I knew he was very young, and you can hear it, like, in Ren's voice. He's not, I don't know. I feel like maybe someone mentioned he was, like, 30 or something. It was very, very young. It was while Volume 3 was early in production. Interesting. I thought it was between Volume 2 and Volume 3, but he had already... Okay, so I kind of assumed that, like, Volume 3 was, like, they picked up where they knew that he had, like, a rough outline for the show. But, so, this probably is, like, the last volume with his direct influence over it. So I'm very curious to see how the other volumes are. I know people have told me and shared with me that so many people stepped in to help. Like, I think Ren is now voiced by his brother. A lot of, like, voice actors on the show, like, stepped up to, like, take creative control and everything to make sure that the series kept going and to just be faithful to Monty and his vision. I'm sure, like, I'm sure I have, like, crud all over my face, like, eye makeup and everything. I'm so glad that was the last song, because I know I'm just sitting here with, like, mascara everywhere or something. I don't know. Half my makeup cried off. But anyway, like, I know the other volumes will be faithful to his vision, because it sounds like everyone involved had such a very a personal stake in this. You know, had so much respect for him and really loved him, you know, as a friend. So it's not just going to be like, oh, there was some producer guy and he, you know, he wasn't on the rest of the series. Like, no, you can tell they, like, picked up the mantle after his passing. And so I know they will be faithful to his vision in later volumes. But this is, like, probably the last one that had a lot of his direct control over it, even though it's an early production, because obviously, you know, like, you know, Ren was not voiced by him and everything, so it hits twice as hard. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, because you can definitely tell, like, the lyrics are about Pyrrha and John, but you can also really tell it's about how everyone felt about losing Monty. So wow, guys, that was quite a song to end on there. And just like they ended the volume off with it, they're just gonna leave me broken here. So excellent volume. It's hard to say like which is the best volume so far because they all do such a great job of capturing exactly what they're supposed to. The lyrics, the music, just like the sound of the music, the beat, you can tell, you know, Jeff and Casey and Lamar are just so like personally invested in this. You can feel it in the way that they deliver all of these songs. For me, like just hearing Casey grow, like just vocally her growth, like her maturing voice is like a really beautiful thing. And it's like we're hearing her grow up, you know, before our very ears. So I think that's really fun. But man, they nailed it. They nailed it with so many of these. You can, I really would say the deeper I get into the series, the more I agree so much with Team Fandom, which I'm now part of. Yay, Team Fandom. I love that. I agree so much that the soundtrack is essential. It's an essential companion to the series. It's not just, you know, hey, we picked out a song that kind of like captured. No, this is like carefully crafted in every way to elucidate on every aspect of the volume. Excellent. And it's left me in tears. So it did its job. So, all right, guys. After this, I have World of Remnants to check out. I think there's like, I don't know how many there are. I'll check it. I think there's always like 4, but they're short. I'll just, I'll get through those because I think they are really cool and informative. And it couldn't hurt to solidify all my knowledge of everything up to this point before moving on to Volume 4, but I cannot wait for Volume 4. I know a lot of you guys who are caught up have already seen the premiere of Volume 8. I hear that came out recently, so I'm super jealous that you guys are all caught up, but then again, I do have like so much fun stuff ahead of me just like getting caught up, so I can't wait, guys. So, all right, Volume 3 was so intensely amazing in every way. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching me both enjoy and also break down for that soundtrack. Maybe you were breaking down along with me. Hugs. So it's okay. It's gonna be all right, guys. We've got more stuff coming, good and bad, I'm sure. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.